The first thing I wanted to do is to cover the installation. Before I do that, I wanted to make sure, or have you make sure, that you have all the system requirements that are needed. And if you go to page 2 of the Cutting Master 2 User's Manual, it has this little diagram of the system requirements. You just want to make sure that your system matches. If not, you might have to get more memory or more disk space. But nonetheless, you really want to check this out. Once you put the CD into the holder and start running the software program, both for the CE and FC7000, you should get a menu such as this, the Start menu here, where you get several options of what you want to do, which includes installing users' manuals and, of course, installing the CE5000 software or the FC7000 software. I'm using the CE5000 in this demonstration because they're similar in the way they install. But the button I want to check on is this Setup Cutting Master 2. Once I click on it, all it'll ask me is a couple questions which I'll just step through easily. Of course, the first one is, what language will you like to use for your Cutting Master 2? In this case, English is the choice here, so I'll go ahead and click OK. The next dialog box just asks you what you want to install, which is the Cutting Master 2, and it shows you the actual version number here, and then of course the language you want to use. Next set of menus you just want to go ahead and step through, so I'll go ahead and click on Next. Yes is to the acceptance of the license. Go ahead and click on Next again. Where I want to place it, I'll click on Next, and I do want to install on the desktop so I can have easy access to it. Click on Next, and I'll go ahead and start installing the product for you. Next, what it does is it tries to find where everything is at. At this point, it's finding different Illustrator versions, and it's going to go ahead and install it. And it'll do the same thing for the Corel. So I'll go ahead and click on Next here and continue on. When you get to this message, just go ahead and click on Yes, just to make everything start from the beginning. And then we'll go ahead and click on Finish, and we're all done. Now that we've got the software installed, one of the things I wanted to show you is just the components of Cutting Master 2. Now you notice here that within Adobe Illustrator or Coreldraw there are two sections underneath, two choices you have within the software. You have Registration Mark Creator, which creates registration marks right within your drawing. And then the other is the Cut Plot dialog box, and that's the actual Cutting Master 2 main dialog box to output to the cutter. But what it also does, when it sends the job, it sends it to the Cutting Master 2 queue. It's kind of like a place where it stores all the drawings that you're going to be sending out to the plotter. So you can stack them up so that you're not waiting for the plotter to complete the job before you can send the next job. It queues them up, in other words, and allows them to go out to the plotter when ready. Now that everything is installed and I know my components, where do I find those components? Well, in Adobe Illustrator, you just go up to File, and then come down to Cutting Master 2, there it is, and there you have your two components, your registration marks for creating registration marks, and then the main dialog box, your Cut Plot dialog box. For Corel, it's a little bit different. It's not under the File, but it's under the Launcher menu, and that's right here where it looks like a little rocket. If I click on that little arrow, come down, there it is, registration marks, and then my Cut Plot dialog box. Before I start showing you the Cutting Master 2 dialog box, the Cut Plot dialog box, I wanted to have you turn on something that's very necessary as this video goes on, and that is your Layers palette. The reason is because Cutting Master 2 can use this feature quite extensively for at least for more advanced features like doing print and cut and cutting through decals. It can also add enhancement to how you drive your cutter. Now, Coreldraw is the same way. You want to go ahead and turn on its layers as well. And it's not called layers, it's just called, let's see, Object Manager, which gives you basically your different layers that you're going to have on your drawing, where you can create layers. And once again, Cutting Master 2 can use this feature, and it can really help in your workflow. So I would really recommend that you turn it on and use them quite extensively. Once you've done this, the only thing you have to do is with the plotter, and that's enable the condition priority. What this does is it allows you to control the plotter from Cutting Master 2, setting the force and all the settings from the software. The way this is done, you press pause, you press next 3 times, and then you press F2 for condition or background settings. You press next until you get to condition priority, and then you just press F4 to change it to program. And then you're all set.